Okay. This is generally how you apply to a guide dog school. Oops. Hold on. There. Turning off my headset. So, each school is different, and the general application is you tell them a bit about who you are, your lifestyle, whether you're high energy, low energy, medium energy, whatever, what your home is like, whether there are places to walk. Some schools require more actual routes that you walk on foot with your dog than others. Some don't actually count them. They care more about, is the dog going to be worked, not do you have 10 places, or however many places. So you tell them who you are and all that basic info and any other guide dogs you've had in the past, and whether you have other pets at home, any other people at home, that kind of thing. So then you download the medical forms. I'm pretty sure that's how that works now. You download the medical forms and you get them filled out by your physician, because every dog has a different amount of pressure in the harness handle. The harness handles are rigid. They're either steel wrapped in leather or made of some sort of PVC material from one school. And so in order for you to know which way the dog is going, you have to have that rigidity in the handle. So different people also have different preferences. Do they want a really, really fast dog or a really slow dog? Do they want a medium pull or a really hard one or a really light one? I will tell you from experience, if you get a pull that is too light, the chances are that you're not going to be able to get that dog to pull more firmly. Generally, also, they say that it is easier to slow a dog down than to speed him or her back up. And I can tell you this is very true. If the dog is a slow walker and you're not, you're going to have issues. That's just how it goes. So anyway, they also have to attest to whether they think you can walk 2 or 3 miles a day, because you're literally walking twice a day with the dog to varying degrees depending on whether or what kind of work you're doing. A lot of it is outside, but not all of it is outside. Sometimes it's in stores, or you're doing escalators or malls, or it can be all sorts of stuff. We went into what was that place? Was it a law firm or somewhat? No, I don't know. We went somewhere and they used the little wand thing that they do in security to get my dog used to it, and she wasn't too keen on that idea. So they did it again and she was fine. But the first time they did it, she's like, what the heck are you doing to me? Like, not only are you in my space, which is fine because most of these dogs are extraordinarily friendly and love pets, and the more pets the better. She was just confused. So okay, doctor, they sign off that you can walk, that you can handle, on average about, I think it's 2 to 4 or 5 pounds of pressure, something. I don't remember. I'm going to have to actually look that up because now I want to know. And that you're in good health. And you also need to give them like your medication list, any dietary restrictions. They take that stuff very seriously, obviously. Both of the schools that I attended cooked, they actually have their own kitchen staff, and so you eat really well there. At school they feed you, and it's such good food. I mean, really good food. So the next step, or like the steps can vary a bit. You can either fill out the doctor forms first and then the instructor comes out, or the instructor comes out and then you fill out your medical or whatever. So for our purposes, the next step is for the instructor to come out and do what is called a Juno walk. The instructor holds a harness in such a way as to simulate a dog walking, and they show you different paces, different pulls. They get a sense of what you understand in terms of how to follow a dog or not follow a dog. That's not a deciding factor as much as they just want to know you. They're just trying to get to know who their applicants are. And they gauge your general pace and pull preferences, and they look around your home, like what's around you, what kind of environment the dog might be exposed to on a regular basis, i.e. are you in a busy street? I'd hope you're not in a busy street. In a busy city, or a small town, or a rural road with no sidewalks at all. And all the dogs are trained on the same things, but some are obviously going to want to work in more busy environments. Some are going to want quiet, and they're not going to be bored to tears by what we call sidewalk-less roads or travel. And so then they look for a dog for you. And if they have one, then they call you and they tell you that you've been invited to, penciled in for, insert your phrase, and they give you a class date. And that is the fun part. When I applied in 2012, I applied in very late June. I had my Juno walk at the end of September. I do not remember if I had the medical forms filled out before the Juno walk or after, but I do know that by October, probably around the middle of October, I had gotten my acceptance date, that I'd been accepted to the school, and I'd been given a time frame, and that was March of 2013. So March of 2013, I flew to Newark, New Jersey. The school is in Morristown, and I've arrived on a Monday afternoon, got my dog on Wednesday, and was there for something like 26 days. Left on a Thursday morning, got home, and then had to orient my new dog to my world, my environment. When you get the dog, they are about a year and a half of age, give or take. Usually at the youngest, they're about 18 months to 2 years. Every once in a while, you will have a dog that has come back to the school. Either their previous handler died, or some other thing has come up and the dog had to be sent back, or I don't know, it could be anything. So I've heard of people getting dogs as old as like 2.5, maybe even closer to 3. But generally, I've never really, I think maybe I've heard of one person who's gotten a dog that was like 4. But I don't even know for sure if that's how old they were, and or I'm misremembering. One of the misconceptions that a lot of people have is the dogs know how to read traffic. No, they don't. The dogs are, at least to some degree, and people will disagree on how much or how little dogs are colorblind. They can't read traffic lights. They understand certain things, such as if you tell them forward and it is not safe, they're not going to let you go out into that busy street. But you have to be able to listen to what the traffic around you is doing, and you have to be able to tell them when to go. It's not up to them. It is up to them to stop you. So, story time. Second day after I got home with my second guide, I had to go pick up a prescription. Well, my friend and I walked to the drugstore, went into the back, got the meds, came out, and when we were coming back, we had to cross the street. Well, I was halfway across, and Toby performed what they call a traffic, hold on, I just drew a big fat blank because my brain is my brain. He performed a traffic check. This is where, if you are crossing a street and a car cuts in front of you, the dog will back you up to get you out of the way. And he did that. They tell you, or at least they told us back in 2005, when you get home, don't take your dog into really stressful situations those first few days. Keep it quiet, keep it low key. I didn't know I was going to get a traffic check the second day after we got home. But that was how I knew, among many other reasons, that he was really special. To perform a traffic check is what's called intelligent disobedience. And they tell us that if cars are going above a certain mileage, I think it's 40 something, there's no time. There's no way the dog has a chance to react in time for you to be out of harm, which is why it's so important that we understand lights and stop signs and what's safe and what isn't. Not every blind person does this. Some are more comfortable with it than others, and that's okay. I'm typically not very comfortable. I can do it, and I can do it reasonably well, but I don't enjoy it. I find it stressful. So I tend to go door to door when I'm traveling to a different place. But that's me. That's not your average person. We're all different. Let's see if I have any fun stories I can tell. I just realized I don't know if my thing is back facing or front facing, so I don't even know if you guys are getting a picture of me or my floor. Whatever. It's dark in here. So, oh, there it is. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody was being shown my floor, not me. Now I have the light in my face, so I know that it's recording. Hold on, let me think how to do this. It's either like this, or like that. And I don't know which way is better, sideways or vertical. I hear a lot of people talk about how they prefer, I guess that would be landscape mode. Not portrait, but they don't call it that. That's what VoiceOver calls it.
Landscape is sideways.
Yeah, landscape is sideways, portrait is vertical. So that is the general process. Every school's different. Some are stricter than others. Some are more lax. Some are smaller. Some are bigger. Most of them have about 24 students at a time. Some have 12 at a time. There's one school that I know of that did, if it's still around, I don't know, only in-home training. A very small school up in Connecticut. Oh, that's the other thing. One more quick little tidbit, and then I'll go. There are over 10 guide dog schools in this country, in the U.S. There are 3 in New York, 1 in New Jersey, 1 in Michigan, 1 in Ohio. Let me think. 3 or 4 in California. And I don't actually know the others, if there are still others. I know there were some in the past that have since closed down. There was one in Texas, or maybe that was Arizona. But there are also service dog schools that do different training, like for wheelchair users, paraplegics, mostly to my knowledge. And there are some guide dog schools that will even do wheelchair training with blind people. I only know of 2 that do it, but that's not for certain. It could be more. It could be a lot more. But yeah, that's my guide dog stories, and I am so sorry that I showed you guys my nasty floor for the majority of this.